Hello, Year 4. Welcome to Monday, the 8th of June English lesson. I hope you had a really lovely weekend. Here we go then. This is our English learning for this week. Just to start off, there are some spellings for you to have a go at this week. As you can see, they are all spellings that end L-Y. And what we'd like you to do is to see if you can either work out or remember or watch the video which talks to you a little bit about the rules for ending for words that end with the suffix ly. Okay, all of the words have to be changed ever so slightly before you add the ly. Okay, there are some really clear-cut rules. See if you can work them out or watch the video and learn them. Okay, so our main bit of the English we are going to be doing this week is all about letter writing. Okay, so today we're thinking about informal letters. Okay, and we're going to recap the features of a letter. And then tomorrow we're going to look at a formal letter and compare a formal letter to an informal letter. And then by the end of the week, we're going to be planning and writing a formal letter. Okay. And I will say now, look out for Wednesday's lesson when you can expect a very important government announcement, okay, which you might have some quite strong opinions about, and you might even be so moved that you need to write a letter to a certain resident of 10 Downing Street. Okay, but back to today's lesson, we are writing informal letters today, okay? And just to start us off, here is a letter that I wrote earlier, and to make it a bit more fun, I have put together a little video montage. Now, you do not have to do this, okay? I'm just trying to make it interesting. Have a little look at my letter to my grandma. 34 Made Up Road, Bristol, 8th of June 2020. Dear Grandma, how are you? I am very well. Since the lockdown began, I have played endless amounts of Peppa Pig. The children love it, but I am not quite as keen. They really enjoy playing with the characters in the garden. We have taken the doll's house outside so that Peppa and George have a very grand house. Ted even caught a woodlouse, which he was hoping would live within the house too. Unfortunately, Woody the woodlouse had other ideas and escaped almost immediately. I hope you are keeping well and that you are managing to get out to exercise safely. Ted has learnt to ride his bike in the last few weeks, so most days we go for a bike ride. Rose really enjoys going on the back of my bike too. We are planning to go on a bike ride and have a picnic somewhere tomorrow. I hope to see you soon. Tons of love, your granddaughter. Okay, so that was my letter to my grandma. I hope you enjoyed it. Here it is written down. Okay, so this is the sort of layout that you would expect to see in an informal letter. Okay, hopefully it sort of looks familiar to you. It's not it's not new learning for you. We've done letters. I know we certainly did them in year 3, and you might even have done them in Key Stage 1 as well. Let's just very quickly then remind ourselves of those key layout features, presentation features for writing an informal letter. See if you can just think to yourself now, what have I covered up with those ovals there? What key features are behind those ovals? So up here on the right, we start off with your address. The person who's writing it should be your address up there, and as you realised, I'm sure I've made up that address. Okay, but that is my make-believe address. Just under that, we've got the date that I wrote the letter on. Okay, it should be spaced out with a line in between. It just looked a bit funny on the computer, looked a bit too spaced out. Okay, and then you start writing on the left hand side of the page, and we start with dear whoever it is. In my case, I was writing to my grandma, dear grandma, and that's on a line of its own. Okay, so you do not then continue your letter here on the rest of that line. And then we start our letter and we write in paragraphs, of course. And then down here, when you're finishing an informal letter, you can finish with lots of love, tons of love, or just from. Depends who you're writing to, of course. I've written tons of love, your granddaughter, and I've finished with an X. Okay, now you might not do that. It just depends who you're writing to. Other things, when you're writing an informal letter, you want to make it interesting. Okay, you will hopefully not just be using simple sentences. You can see that I have extended all of my sentences with these words that I have covered up. What type of words are they? Well, of course, they are conjunctions. But, so, which, and, so, in order to. And of course, there are plenty more conjunctions that you could use in your letters to extend your writing and give more information to your reader. We've done conjunctions lots of times, and I'm sure you can come up with some more. And very finally, of course, in any piece of writing we do these days, we write in paragraphs. Okay, you should ideally write maybe 2 or 3 paragraphs, and think about having a sort of topic per paragraph. So this first paragraph is all about the games that the kids are playing in the garden. Okay, mostly it's focused on this Peppa Pig thing that my children are obsessed with. Okay, and I do move on to talking about the woodlouse, but it is all connected, which is why it's all in one paragraph. And then secondly, I'm telling my grandma about our exercise, what we do for exercise, and that's all one topic, so it is one paragraph. Okay, so as you probably guessed, your task today is to write a letter to someone you know about your experiences in lockdown so far. You can write to your grandma, your granddad, you could write to an aunt and uncle, you could even write to a friend. And if you did that, it would be so lovely if you actually went and posted it through their door, if you were in a position to be able to do that. I'm sure your teachers would love a letter from you as well if you fancied writing to us and either taking a photo of it or posting it to school. We would love to hear from you. Very last slide for you, the success criteria. So make sure you write a good informal letter. Make sure you use that correct letter format that we talked about at the beginning with your address and the date. And lay it out in paragraphs. Try to use some conjunctions to extend your sentences. Use paragraphs for separate topics, and that added challenge, that thing that us Year 4 teachers bang about all the time, have a go at including 1 or 2 fronted adverbials if you can. That would be wonderful. Okay, see you tomorrow.